are finally back. Slam Pigs Union Smack right here on Hibiki TMD on YouTube. Thank you once again, my friend, Maniac Matt Tennant. I'm so proud I could first, holding down the fort for technically the past 3 weeks. All apologies for last week's episode, and thank you to Logan Myers too for filling in his co-host. Technical difficulties prevented that this error. Try to get Logan on in the future. But Matt Tennant, what's going on, man? Welcome back. So good to be doing a show with you once again. You have been missed. It's good stuff. Thank you, man, once again for holding down the fort. Where can everyone catch you? And some good news, finally, some closure on your Undertaker book.
Yes, some good news. And before I do that, welcome back, Travis. It's a relief to have you back. Let's say that. You can catch me on Twitter, as always, at The Perfect Tenant. You can buy our merchandise, the official Union Smack shirt, the official Hibiki TMD shirt at unionsmack.bigcarsale.com. And finally, my Undertaker book will, fingers crossed, barring any major mishaps, be available at the end of next week, which, when you good people are listening to this, will be the first week in December. And thank you, Travis, for getting the introduction done.
Yeah, I was going to say, can't bust my chops anymore. I got off my ass in the past month or so since we've done the show. We got breaking news. I got the intro done. Thank you, man, for having me in your book. I'm excited to see it, and it's an awesome new venture to be a part of.
Well, pleasure. And let's just let's hope somebody reads it. So, it's going to be cheap. It's going to be like, I don't know, £9 in the UK, like $13 in America, somewhere along those lines. So it's going to be a good Christmas present. If you know anyone who's a wrestling fan, then yeah, I'm going to blow my own horn, Travis, and say they're going to fucking love it. So do pick it up, and we'll have more details on where you can get that next show. Next show, I will have the links and everything else for everyone.
Very nice, good sir. As always, though, follow me on Twitter at the Hibiki TMD, Pro Wrestling Retro Gaming. Hit that subscribe right down below. Get off your asses. Check out Matt's book next week. And thank you guys, all you new listeners too, Matt, we've picked up since you filled in solo the past couple weeks, for sticking around. We are back, though, in full force. Got a lot to say, but a lot been happening in the wrestling world. I guess hottest off the presses, it actually took place yesterday. Breaking news. I guess it's officially confirmed now, which is weird because this was rumored a couple months ago, and Walter was like, no, I'm comfortable living over here. I have no interest living in the U.S. But Walter officially is signed to NXT UK. Also yesterday, the same day, they announced NXT UK first ever takeover in Blackpool, Matt. My God.
Yeah. What a week. Like, takeover, then Walter. It's all been going on, Travis. I've not seen any sorry. I've not seen any major details of the Walter, announcement yet. He's coming. I expect him to be a introduction in the crowd at Takeover Blackpool, which we will tell you good people about in a minute. But yeah, I mean, I've seen negative reactions, positive reactions. I don't know where you sit on the Walter thing, but I mean, for me, he's probably done what he can in WXW. I know we're going to get a few people going, how dare you say that? But do you know what? It's a new venture, new horizons, and no one ever lost anything by taking a chance.
And if anything, I feel like it's a good thing for him as far as exposure. Definitely it'll raise his rates for when he goes back over there for bookings. But it's impossible not to be weary anymore when anyone's signed. Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, any of these guys, Punishment Martinez, I'm always weary. There's always kind of that sense of dread in my stomach nowadays. It's been that way for a while. Can anyone blame me? If anyone saw Raw this past week, could you blame me?
Certainly not.
But I mean, it's interesting. It's definitely got my attention. How could it not? If you know who Walter is coming in, if you could relate this to like racing, his career in WXW, he's lapped himself multiple times. There's nothing left to do. You're totally right. Venture out. He's made the shots that evolve, progress. There's one more stop on the way. I feel like at least get in and get out. If that's his goal, that's fine. That's business. That's a smart move. And then with this all elite wrestling news that came out too, which we'll get to in a second, there's other ships to jump to.
Yeah, indeed. And current Progress champion, I believe, unless something's happened that I haven't seen. So I think his name carries a lot of weight over here, and Triple H obviously saw that big star worldwide. I'm not going to say massive star in the UK yet, but people know who he is here because of Progress. So good business, good signing.
I also want to correct myself real quick, Matt. Sorry, I'll let you finish in a second because I know my buddy JD is going to be up my ass if I don't. At the beginning, I said Germany. No, he's Austrian actually. So
there you go, a little correction for you. Do you know, Travis, first show back in the month and you're already making mistakes. Dear God, man.
I know, rusty.
All that ring rust.
Gotta shake it off.
So yeah, shake it off, man. But yeah, good signing for NXT UK, and I know you said before we came on air that you think he's going to be the one to take the belt off Pete Dunne. So let's see where that goes. Let's just see where it goes. And you know what? If we're wrong about it being a good signing, a coup, then we'll hold our hands up 6 months from now and say they shit the bed with him. But I can't see that happening.
I would say it's 50-50. It could go either way, but with their track record, it's like 30-70. Like they're going to shit the bed and, make it a good run. If anything, he should just be booked as an Austrian Samoa Joe for the NXT UK brand. It's exactly what you do with him. Samoa Joe done right, by the way, how he should be. Not, I'm not comparing that to recent bookings of Samoa Joe. But you know what I'm saying. Also, let's get into the other news, Matt, real quick. All Elite Wrestling, with this rumor that we talked about a month or so ago with Chris Jericho, denying there were talks with him and Jim Ross helping start up a new promotion. It's come out. It's confirmed. The owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, who's multi-billionaire too, just like Vinnie Mac. I guess going head to head now. Eventually, this is also very exciting news. I mean, what's your take on this? Do you think they're going to lose their ass? I mean, real quick, as much as we can wrap it up in a news segment, we could talk forever about this topic, but do you think they got what it looks like to be the talent? I mean, to even say compete with WWE, that's ridiculous. But I think they're definitely going to make a blip on the radar. What's just your take? And I'll shut up.
I mean, they'll make a blip on the radar, but like we said like a month ago, I don't think anything's really changed in the wrestling landscape. If anything, it's got worse in that there's an oversaturation of professional wrestling on television and even on the internet now. You can watch online promotions. So I think it's going to have its work cut out to really get over. It will draw big for its first episode, I'm sure, because people want to see what it's about, but it's going to be about keeping the people after that. If you can offer them something that WWE can't, then even though it's unlikely you're going to trump them and become bigger than them, the audience is there, Travis, for a different type of wrestling. So play to the strengths, hide whatever weaknesses you've got, do what WWE aren't, and good fucking luck, because I know right now I can be bothered to watch NXT and NXT UK and a pay-per-view every month, and that's me done. So, good luck.
And we see that these NXT shows also, they fill up the same arena that they have a SummerSlam in the next day.
Yeah.
There is that audience there. And people, you can make the argument All In shows that audience, that was a one-off. That's not a consistently weekly booked, wrestling league. It's a lot harder to just have like an all-star game, pretty much like All In was, as opposed to just a TNA show or something. It's harder to book. It's harder to predict how big your audience turnout is going to be. It could dwindle away. It could grow bigger. It just fluctuates so much.
Yeah. Like I said, best of luck to them, Travis, because they've got their work cut out. With New Japan, WWE, NXT, NXT UK, Ring of Honor, Progress, ICW. I could go on and on and on listing them. I could see the decision as a good one if the market was halved and there weren't as many promotions, but it's just like there's so much wrestling. There's so fucking much wrestling that you can get your hands on now. So have people really got patience in the long run for another company? I'm just not sure they have. And I missed Impact out of that as well. I beg your pardon, but I'm just not sure in the long run. By the time we get to summer 2019, I'm just not sure the product is going to be able to sustain the audience.
Well, I do sincerely wish them the best of luck. I think competition, as lame as it is to say, it's always a good thing, and I am, I'm interested to see what's good. And we said Jim Ross. Shout out to him real quick. He had a terrible car accident since we recorded. He's better,
Yes.
but it was rough, man. So sympathies out to Jim Ross. Glad you're doing better. Best wishes.
Indeed.
This is more generous than WWE has ever been in the history of this company with letting guys work other places.
Yeah, it is, and it's also a response to the mountain injuries that NXT UK have had recently. People coming back from indies injured, and I'm also hearing that it's also a response to disappointing houses for television tapings. Not a lot of people attended the Liverpool tapings recently. It was like 500 to 800 people a night, and the arena they were in was capable of holding many, many more. So, WWE's theory is if people, are going to pay £10 to see them stars on the indies, they're less likely to pay 40, 50 British pounds to see them in NXT UK. Which I can see that.
And you guys, you're not stupid. You're very aware. And even though it's one of the best weekly shows that the company has in NXT UK, you guys know that this is just Progress Light at the end of the day. And I feel like you guys aren't fully biting.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's right, and it goes back to that thing. We can pay to see him in Progress, or sometimes a local indie event. One or two will pop up for dirt cheap ticket prices. So I can totally see where WWE are coming from. I can see both edges of the sword, the good and the bad. I also have to add that these terms also do include if the contracted talent have any outstanding dates with any non-partners of WWE, they are allowed to finish them. However, they're not allowed to wrestle against contracted talent from Ring of Honor, Impact, New Japan, or World of Sport over here, and they're also only allowed to finish up those contracts if there is a medic in the building.
Wow.
What a fucking odd request
that
is. It's like you can finish your dates only if there's a medic on standby. Again, that's a response to the the numerous injuries that stars have left indie shows with.
Well, you know what? It's their choice at the end of the day. You know what I mean? They want to be there, and can't blame most of them. But I'm pretty sure that's it for the news this week, right, Matt?
Apart from the announcement of Takeover, Travis, you've only missed the biggest announcement there is.
Well, I thought we covered it at the beginning, but the big news, personal news, is somebody is going.
Yes, somebody. Hint, hint me. Booked my ticket Monday morning, first thing. They went on sale at 10 a.m. over here. Booked it, done. I am off, and we will be doing I think we're going to do a live post show if work and times permit.
Indeed. A whole experience. Matt's journey, his takeover journey.
Matt's journey to takeover.
Look for that.
And that will of course be on January the 12th at the Empress Ballroom. Do you want me to run through the card, Travis, for anyone who doesn't know? It's very spoiler heavy, so...
Spoiler alert, guys, this is your official, first ever NXT UK TakeOver card roundup. 2 minutes, go, Matt!
Eddie Dennis versus Dave Mastiff, no disqualification. Mustache Mountain versus Grizzled Young Veterans, that is James Drake and Zach Gibson, to crown the first ever NXT UK Tag Team Champions. Jordan Devlin versus Travis Banks, which I'm looking forward to very much. Tony Storm versus Rhea Ripley for the NXT UK Women's Championship. And of course, my favourite, Pete Dunne versus Joe Coffey for the WWE United Kingdom Championship. And also, the night after Takeover, they will be recording the next set of tapings from Blackpool also. Done.
There you have it. That is your official spoiler alert ender right here. And some big matches. Not going to say them again. You got your spoiler, and I cannot wait to watch it. Cannot wait to see your experience. And guys, you heard it here first. Breaking news: Matt's Journey, one of the first videos of the new year next year. Look for that here on the channel. Can't wait to get that up and running. And man,
Just
we
me being
come back. It's been a minute. Glad to be back. NXT episodes. It's time, Matt. There's been they unleash all these episodes now in a plethora. It's hard to keep track. What officially are the episode numbers we're taking a look at this time?
Officially, we are doing 8 and 9 this week, and the ones that have just aired, this past week, we will get to in the next week or so. We're getting there, folks. It's just difficult to keep up.
It's our fault. We bitched and complained for a year that there's no show, and now it's like, well, here you go. Can you keep up, pal? No, we can't, Vince. Calm down. Give us one a week. So give us a break. When we come back, Slam Pigs Union Smack, episodes 8 and 9 NXT UK review right here. Don't you dare go anywhere, or this guy himself, he's going to give you the bitter end. So.
I'm the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne, and you're listening to the Union Smack podcast.
Do you think Shawn Michaels, like, he thought it was like a big mystery, like the cover up, like we didn't know you're bald, you could take the cowboy hat off. He was so, that shit was like glued to his head. Like, what's the big deal, man? It was fun. Like, the only time you didn't have to wear a hat was when you wrestle. When you go hunting, you're always wearing a hat. Like, you didn't have to shave it.
Yeah.
Breaks my fucking heart.
I mean,
We are back, though, Slam Pigs Union Smack. Look at that, sneaking it in on you. And that's how I feel about this goddamn hair, Matt. He looks ridiculous with the shaved head.
He does. I don't know, what can you say about his shaved head? It's just, it looks unnatural. It's like after 20 odd years of his long hair, it's like, it's a different man. He looks so fucking odd at Crown Jewel. It was like, ugh. It's one of them unnatural things, it's just like, I don't know what to say about it because, what can you say? It looks hideous. Grow it back and stop fucking wrestling, by the way. You've been retired, 8 years now?
He just looks like a template, like if you're playing like 2K19 or something and you're creating, like you can edit the wrestlers that are in the game and like you can mess around with Shawn Michaels and like you give him like big head mode. His head looks so big now. It's unfortunate.
It looks like the character you couldn't be fucked to put the hair on. It's like, I've spent 4 hours creating this, getting the face right. I'm fucked if I'm going to spend another hour on the hair. Forget it.
You know what I can be fucked to spend an hour or so on Matt each week is NXT UK. And even though you've been holding down the fort, I haven't been on these episodes. I've been watching them. I've watched every single one. I've been keeping up. Got to tell you, it's not bad. It could be better. We can both admit it. They could be doing a lot more. Just consistent storytelling wise, you could say, with a lot of the talent.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. It's like episode, we're on 8 now. So episode 6 wasn't anything at all. It was just full of, filler. I can accept that on a few weeks. You don't want to see everyone every week. It becomes oversaturated like Raw and SmackDown does. And they've got a big enough roster to, miss some people out on some weeks. But yeah, I mean, the storytelling could be a tiny bit better, I think. The only thing they've really told well for me right now is the Coffees and Wolfgang, who have a new name, who have a unity name of Gallus now. Just rampaging through the roster. Their little feud against Flash Morgan Webster, Mark Andrews, and Ashton Smith, I thought was told very well. Apart from that, it's been, hit and miss down the line.
Yeah. all wrestling shows, even NXT and shows like that they have all weeks that aren't off, but are just like, it's not as eventful, you could say. That happens. And this show is fine. There's not an episode I have anything that would turn me off, and I totally agree. Even though I was on the episode when he did solo, the announcer guy. What is it? Blues Pizza? Is that what you said?
He's on the show. Blue what?
What?
Oh my god, my accent is that what? Am I my accent that fucking hard to understand? It's Blue Peter. It's like what's the best way to describe it? It's like a
It's like
it's a
Blue's
kid show,
Clues or something,
basically.
right?
Sort of. It teaches you like how to make shit, out of spare toilet rolls and newspaper and stuff like that, and they go out on adventures and stuff like that. So I'd say it's for like children / young, very young adults, but he's got no place in a professional wrestling thing. I can't stand the bloke. He makes my skin crawl.
I've been playing a lot of Red Dead 2 lately, which is a tremendous game, and it's off topic. Pick it up, I haven't played. Anyway, you can take this thing and it's called hair tonic, and it makes your hair grow super fast. I feel like every episode he takes some of that. His fro is getting bigger.
It is. And do you know what's weird? It's like it's getting bigger every week. Yet a lot of these episodes were recorded on the same night.
I know.
So
That's what makes it even better. That's why I think he was drinking tonic in between takes. Like, Jesus Christ. He's just injecting hair hormones. Either way, he's ridiculous. He's freaking ridiculous. But I will say, he's given me some entertainment. We'll get to it later, but he's looked startled in certain interviews, especially with Eddie Dennis, I believe, which we'll talk about. Keep him there. If anything, let's just see him, hold on and wait till he gets beaten up. And that'll be the payoff.
Well, sooner the better, in my opinion.
I'll take, you know what? I'll take blue, fucking green, purple, pink pizza, whatever the hell he is, over like Todd Phillips or some fucking Todd Grisham or some boring vanilla fucking nobody that I'm gonna forget about. I'm sorry. At least there's a character to him, kind of like a Lord Alfred.
Yes.
I don't know.
Well, you're pushing it now, Travis. I'll be honest. Like Lord Alfred Hayes was bad, but I just want this bloke to get punched in the face repeatedly.
You don't want to see Lord Alfred power bomb through like a flaming table or anything.
No, I've just got pictures in my head of the natural disasters power bombing this poor old fuck through a table.
Either way, we've already got a Lord Alfred Hayes reference in my first week back. I fucked everything up. Anyway, this week's NXT UK Episode 8 kicked off with Matt.
Yes. It kicked off from Birmingham, and we were treated to the beginning of the women's tournament to crown the first ever NXT UK Women's Champion. Fuck that up, didn't I? To crown the first ever NXT UK Women's Champion. We get a quick recap of all the participants, Travis. But the first match proper was Dakota Kai versus Nina Samuels in a quarterfinals match. I enjoyed it. I mean, I know I sound like I'm stretching myself when I say that, but it wasn't as bad as Nina Samuels' previous performances, I don't think. I think she... Oh, fucking hell, hang on. I can't even talk this week. What I was going to say is Nina Samuels, she's not really anything yet, so for her to have a match against Dakota Kai that was, halfway decent, nothing really wrong with it, I think did her the world of good. I think if she's going to be, anything serious down the line, like we were saying about Isla Dawn before we came on air, she needs to really up her game and make herself stand out.
I agree. And even in Progress right now, she's like a background player for House of Couture with Jenny, which is like a stable. I think that's probably the best she could do right now, considering the talent they have. This match is probably the best match she's had in NXT UK. But either way, I didn't see really anything special here in the match. Just more standard. Let's try to get Dakota Kai over more, which she is, which is fine. It's not like Nina looked weak and got squashed. It's just nothing memorable. I feel like they would, she's a serious threat for a future, title match. Nothing. It was just like, let's put over Dakota Kai. I will say, I'm really sick of Dakota Kai being sloppy on her finish. I wasn't on the episode with Killer Kelly or someone with Dakota Kai that you did solo. Same thing. And I had to disagree. If I was on that episode, I would have disagreed. It's sloppy with her finish. But other than that, no complaints. I just think she should try to... I mean, she's the queen of kicks or team kick or whatever, right? Make it a kick for your finisher.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense that would be your finisher either way for me. But the match was what it was. Obviously, on paper, a lot of these matches for the brackets for the women's tournament, if you look at them, you pretty much know who's going over to begin with. And this is another case of that. Dakota Kai, obviously, Nina Samuels is going over Dakota Kai.
Yeah, I agree. I think it could have done with 5 more minutes, Travis. It would have been better. Pardon me, Jesus. I'm doing good this week, aren't I?
We're on
yeah,
fire, both of us.
I think we're just stumbling like 2 old fuckers can't speak through this episode.
Oh, you brought up Crown Jewel earlier, so like the main event of that. Either way, we're better than that.
Yeah.
Fuck.
We're better than that. Fuck it. I was going to say about Nina Samuels, a bit more from a bit more effort. You know, a good push from the NXT UK booking team. I think she could be a Mickie James in years to come, but you know, she strikes me as that type of character, that type of wrestler. She just needs more. Just needs more. And Dakota Kai, I have to say, she might be as hot as fuck, and she really gets you going as a babyface. Like, you really want to root for her, but better, please. You know, we expect better. And we know she can do better, so don't fucking phone it in.
Is it fair to say at least 70% of the women in this tournament are really good talents? It's a matter of timing because the talent in this division is so stacked. I mean, how are you going to compete with Toni Storm, Rhea Ripley? There's just other women that are on another level right now in the same division. Like, if they weren't there, no reason Xia Brookside shouldn't be like the Bailey of this division or like Dakota. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, I agree, and I think Millie McKenzie could be huge as well. Like the reception she got, and I mean, we'll get onto her later. I've got an idea or two for her, which is broadcastable. But yeah, stacked women's division, and I just hope they build somebody for either Toni Storm or Rhea Ripley, whoever's coming out of that feud with the title. I hope they have somebody ready, and we don't have weeks of just meaningless women's matches because there's nothing else. You don't need to give the champion.
Yeah, I could equate Millie McKenzie from what I saw in just one appearance. Excuse me. Both of us, see? There it is again. She's like the Johnny Gargano right now. She could be, when Johnny Gargano was still the red hot babyface, she's like a Daniel Bryan, so to speak. She could totally be that. She's very talented, a prodigy. Moving right along, NXT UK Episode 8 this week, Matt.
Next, we were treated to, I use the word treated in the loosest possible sense, a backstage interview with Mark Andrews with Rveiew. Fucking bloke. He says he wants some gold. Flash Morgan Webster offers him, a team to compete for the NXT UK tag team titles. Took it. They're going to be a team from now on. You and me know what's coming in that division. We'll keep it potentially spoiler free, but there will be a team going forward. NXT UK have nothing for them as single stars. And do you know what? That division needs more teams, Travis, like more legitimate teams and not just fucking Saxon Huxley and Joseph Connors thrown together. So,
well, and it's also a reason that people, when they groan and they bitch, and like, well, not more titles. Yes, sometimes more titles are a good thing. A mid-card title right now would be perfect for a Mark Andrews and a Flash Morgan Webster. Incentive and a reason to care about their matches.
Exactly. They need a proper team name, I don't know what it'd be, but proper team name, and I like them both. I said a few episodes ago, I'm, right behind Flash Morgan Webster as a star. I think he could go from tag team to main event flawlessly. I hope they do. But obviously, by us reading out the match card for Takeover, they don't get to the finals. So, Can I just say that Mark Andrews' voice, I really would like him to read me a bedtime story. It's so soft. It's like, hi, everybody.
It's amazing he's not the singer for his band.
Oh, my God. Forgot about his band and that fucking awful theme tune he's got.
Yeah, not a fan of that. I'm sorry, Mark Andrews. He's a great wrestler, just his band. But then they used that in Progress too in the angle with that was the one thing Eddie Dennis put him down, his family down, but he said something about his band, and that's what made Mark Andrews snap in Progress. I was like, oh my God.
Oh dear. That moved us along, Travis, to Tyson T-Bone, possibly my least favourite wrestler on the entire roster.
I don't hate him, but we'll get there.
4 rosters.
You know what? We're finally going to disagree.
Go on.
No, go.
Really?
Yeah.
Good. against Jake Constantino. Go on, I want to hear what you've got to say about Tyson
Flat out,
T-Bone.
100%. I want a stable. I want an army of these guys. I'm a sucker for the pikey gimmick because I love the movie Snatch, and I think Tyson T-Bone has got a great look. He nails it. It's just another case of you got Dave Mastiff there, so what's the point of Tyson T-Bone? And we'll get to that here in a second. Trust us. There's just guys that cancel him out. It sucks because I think he could solid monster heel on the roster. You're not a fan, apparently.
I'm not. I see nothing in him. Like I see no discernible talent. I see the look, and I probably see why he appealed to Triple H to begin with. He's just a pikey Bray Wyatt for me, and it's not good enough. You know, he needs to brush up in the ring. He needs a better character. Maybe a stable would do it. You know, maybe an army of wrestling travelers.
Fucking pikeys. Just say it. Fucking pikeys.
Yeah. Maybe an army of them, you know, would do something apart from steal your car. But maybe, who knows? I
wasn't on to defend myself either. I do like Sam Gradwell. Come at me, but I'm not a fan of the Sheamus look. I agree with you. What are you doing? Now you look like Big Cass's little brother.
Yeah. Weird, isn't it? It's just like that little fucking mohawk thing in the middle of his head. It's just shave it off.
But for some reason, the episode before this, Matt, they teased Tyson T-Bone debuting or whatever. Like, it was a big deal. So I get that. I'm like, well, he's not a big deal. I agree. I just see something in him. But this is his debut, correct?
Yes, it's his, his NXT UK debut. He obviously was in the inaugural tournament last year. But again, it's like, he's not improved for me in a year and a bit. So honestly, if he improves, I will hold my hand up and say, do you know what? He could go far, but right now he's just another mid-card talent that just there to fill a space for me. If anyone's interested in this match, I know I wasn't. Tyson T-Bone wins with a lariat, gets on the mic, asks if that's the best NXT UK has, and of course, Dave Mastiff comes out for his match, and they have a Diesel Undertaker type Royal Rumble 96 stare down in the aisle, which will.
And one of them are dressed like Vader. Go figure.
Yes, yeah. Dave Mastiff had his best Vader attire on.
Yeah, that's not going to be another semi-spoiler. That's not going to be their monster versus monster match at Takeover, but it's a tease to see the things to come from Dave Mastiff, you could say.
Yes,
and we'll get there in the next episode in a little bit.
Well, actually, Dave Mastiff versus Tyson T-Bone, I think was episode 10, which we'll get to next week. But yeah, it's Tyson T-Bone, so don't expect anything positive from me unless he pulls out like a fucking 5-star match that just puts him on the map.
And see, we joked about it earlier too. That's another case of when they give us these episodes, we're thankful for them, but giving us so many at a time, it's hard to keep up. Because you and I've already watched them all in advance, and we're recording back now. So I really wish they would just go back to one a week. You know.
Yeah, the thing is that now they've announced Takeover. It's like one a week isn't possible because they've got so much material that they need to get it all out before Takeover to make the storylines make sense. So now it's like they're just churning them out as quick as possible, and it makes our fucking job a lot harder, Travis, because we now have to find, a lot more time that we possibly don't have to get it all in.
I always try to get it all in, Matt. It's a tight squeeze lately. That's the problem.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Either way, it's like you said, that was what it was. The Dave Mastiff. There's nothing to write home about, but I see what they're doing with Mastiff. It's baby steps to build him up. Build him up to what? Yeah. We'll see. Where are we building up to next on this episode of NXT UK?
We're building up to Dave Mastiff versus Dan Maloney, like the match before it, Travis. There's not that much to say about it. It was a squash. Mastiff wins with the Dan Buster bomb. I mean, it was a very convincing squash, to set him up for T-Bone and what's coming after with, spoiler alert, Eddie Dennis. But it's a squash. It's I don't know. I'm not a fan of squash matches. It's like, I know every match can't be competitive because nobody wants to sit through 5 20-minute classics unless it's a pay-per-view, you know. But just give him. I don't know. It's like you haven't got Dave Mastiff over to me yet, and I know how good Dave Mastiff is, you know. So God knows what people who've never seen him wrestle on the Indies think of him right now. It's like it harks back to me of how they built Ryback up, you know, just short, inconsequential matches that no one cared about.
Yeah, pretty much. It's hard to argue. I feel like they need to be putting in them in just longer. I don't want to say a Broadway type match, but a more competitive match, definitely. Showcase what he can do more, that he can keep up. It's amazing what he can do for a guy his size. If you've never really seen his stuff, like I urge you to check him out on YouTube. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, he even pulled a fucking good match out of Grado on the like premiere World of Sport special, like 2 years ago, I think it was. It's like that's not an easy feat either. I don't like Grado, by the way, in case anyone was wondering. But
You're not
yeah,
alone.
like wonderful match he had with Grado, at least compared to what he's had so far. So just give him something more, and we know something more is coming for him, Travis. It's just infuriating sitting here waiting for it to arrive.
Did this take us to the little recap of Ligero and Jordan Devlin?
I believe it did. I've not written it down, but I'm going to say yes.
For some reason, I know a lot of people are disappointed. I like what they're doing with Ligero. I don't hate it. I mean, they're not
Do you like
making
it,
him
Jordan?
annoying on
Honestly,
the levels of like, hey, he's in a mask, like Lucha House Party. Look, he's in a mask. It's like, no, cool, he wears a mask. He's been doing this for a long time and he's good. And it's not too much. But this was just a little recap of like Jordan Devlin the week before and stuff like that,
yes.
which would lead to these guys on the next episode we'll get to in a little bit, having their match. But to cap off this episode, Matt, what was the main event?
We've actually missed Ginny versus Millie
Oh,
McKenzie,
that's
which
right.
was
Excuse me.
great reaction for Millie.
Yeah.
I have to say, it's like obviously her exposure on Twitter and the Indies with Pete Dunne has done us so much good. It's like I think people want her to succeed. You know, even though like she's not getting the title anytime soon, which is a shame. It might do her some good, like just to be, you know, the solid mid carder, because I think right now she could probably join British Strong Style in their war against Coffis and Wolfgang if, you know, the Coffis and Wolfgang were to get a female member as well.
Yeah, that's true. I could see that. Who would be that female?
I mean, honestly, I'd pick Isla Dawn right now because she needs something so much fucking more than she's got. I think, you know, the exposure of the main event, turn her really heel. You know, they're Scottish, she's Scottish against an all British team. It works. You know, it works. And if that doesn't get Isla Dawn over, then nothing's fucking going to.
Yeah, exactly. But the match, it was fine. It was a good little. It was 5 more minutes, like you said earlier. I wish it would have got 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, there's some matches that like that have been on NXT UK where you think like that might have gone a bit too long. This didn't go long enough. I believe they had a match together recently at the Hello Wembley show for Progress, unless I'm very much mistaken. I might be. Drop it in the comments if I am. I'm just very impressed with Millie McKenzie right now. You know, she's 18. She's learnt from Pete Dunne. She's learnt from, you know, others around her. I know she's learnt from Trent Seven as well, who, you know, what a great teacher he is, like Tyler Bate and her and several others. I think she's got potential, Millie McKenzie, but I think she's got too much of it to just be another, you know, another women's division wrestler. I think she doesn't necessarily need the title. She just needs to be more than a member of the roster, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, totally. Excuse me. I feel like they're gonna want her to get more experience too. That's just probably how
Yeah.
they are. Especially they excuse me again. They can't have these performance centers and be like, well, let's just have an 18-year-old come in and put the title on her. That's kind of shooting yourself in the foot in a way. So like that's everyone in the PC who's been there for years being like, well, what the fuck, you know?
Exactly. So don't put the title on her. Just give her something more, more to do. And I totally think like interaction with Pete Dunne and the entirety of British Strong Style on television, in front of a larger audience who already know, their history on the Indies, that would be massive. Can you imagine, like, say at Takeover, for example, like someone like Isla Dawn comes out to help Joe Coffey unexpectedly, and then Millie McKenzie runs out to help Pete Dunne reset the pop in that fucking ballroom in Blackpool would just be like nothing I've ever heard before.
Especially if she's not
So book it.
advertised and they don't expect her to be there.
Exactly. So I'd love to see her. It's like,
The match, though, Jenny and Millie McKenzie, the finish kind of took the fans live off guard. They kind of didn't see it coming. It kind of fell flat. They're kind of, you could feel this collective, because they wanted Millie McKenzie to win so bad. Jenny's a great heel still, though. It was what it was. I just wish it would have got a little more time.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And as far as you're saying, the ending was flat, I think the ending's been flat to a lot of these matches over the last 8 episodes. I know I've had a gripe about the Tony Storm Dakota Kai match on episode 6, I think it was. The last one from Cambridge. Like, it was just a flat ending. It came out of nowhere. Needed more hype, needed more build. That's been the ending for a lot of these matches. I think that needs working on. I think they need to lay shit out better.
Yeah, totally agree. Is it main event time this time, Matt?
It is main event time this time. Zach Gibson, one of my favourite, maybe my second favourite heel behind Joe Coffey, versus Trent Seven. And excellent match. For me, at least, Travis. I think, like, massive main events like this, they always get right, with timing and pacing and laying it out. I think main events like this are a credit to how NXT is run and where it's going.
Yeah, match was good. Some shenanigans out there unexpectedly. James Drake, making the distraction, getting the win for Zach Gibson, which now it looks like, especially with the spoilers earlier, if you can't take a hint, these two will be teaming up as a tag team. Zach Gibson, demoted? Not the word. I just feel like there's, like we said, there's so much talent, especially with talent coming in with the Walter stuff. He's not going to lose his heel heat anytime soon. It's just to maybe pull him back a little bit, so maybe, I don't know, eventually put him back on title. I don't know what they're thinking, honestly, with Zach Gibson, but he's a really good heel. The crowd still hates him. Shoes off. Matt, you'll be able to take your shoes off in January. Don't worry. James Drake, though, what are your thoughts on James Drake getting if you're going to put Zach Gibson in tag team, this is like the last fucking guy I'd expect.
I think I moaned about James Drake last week that nobody heard, but do you know what? I think it would do him good. He's had this massive run down in Progress, becoming number 1 contender, fighting Walter. I think it can only do him good because I've said this before, like, the James Drake of NXT UK isn't the James Drake of Progress. He's a totally fucking different person.
Well, not even, I'll correct myself, not even, like, not his credentials, the character. The two, I mean, it could be an odd couple type tag team, but they don't fit together for me.
Well, do you know what? I might be wrong, but I'm 100% sure I've heard them teaming on the Indies before. So maybe it's just a case of, taking a team that have made waves, let's say, on the Indies before, and, giving the NXT UK tag team division some oomph, because, right now, what have they got? They've got Mustache Mountain as the actual team, the one fucking proper unit, let's say. And now they've got another one. They've got a proper team name. Zach Gibson's going to carry the team as far as character and personality go. He's the one everyone hates. And I can see them getting the win at TakeOver. I see no benefit in Mustache Mountain getting the belts yet. I think they're a team that are going to be better off chasing the title, Travis, rather than winning it straight off.
I'm just disappointed they didn't even mention Huxley and Gradwell as being a team. They don't even exist in your world. Poor guys.
Saxon Huxley, eh?
Huxley and
Just-
Gradwell sounds like a law firm. I'm sorry. Especially when they put it up on the Titantron.
Have you had an accident in the workplace? Come to Saxon and Gradwell.
Ugh. Leave with a Sheamus haircut and
Oh.
Jimmy Snuka undies. But the match was good. I enjoyed the match. The fans live reacted well to it. But the ending,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm glad Gibson won. Because I feel like we've been seeing dominance from British Strong Style, but they had to lose sometime. The heels had, we're seeing the complete opposite on the main roster with Raw. The heels always fucking win. But, sometimes it's okay, guys, for the heels to win. And I thought the ending was pulled off well. At least he won like a chicken shit, like a heel should,
Yes. Yep. And do you know what? Elaborating on that, it's like there's such a divide now on the roster between British Strong Style and everyone else. It's like they're the top dogs, and the gap between them and the rest, at least for me, Travis, is noticeable. So to have them, lose to upper mid card stars only does, the people they're putting over the world of good.
What would you rate this episode 8 of NXT UK, Matt?
I think between the main event, Millie McKenzie, and the opener, I'd give it a B plus.
I give it a B plus too. Can't argue with that. Very solid. I would say must watch if you're a Millie McKenzie fan for sure. It was good to see her showcase.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they booked her weak or anything. It was a good introduction, you could say, for her. I mean,
Yeah.
for Christ's sake, she's going to be doing this for a while. She's so young, guys. No, I liked it. It was well-rounded episode. One of the better episodes of NXT UK. I'd recommend it.
As would I. After the episode, after episode 7 last week, where only the main event really mattered, I think this was a huge improvement.
Oh yeah.
I still think they need to work on the match endings. Look what you've done in your main event. Great ending, worked well. Built to it. Didn't just come out of nowhere. And apply that formula to 95% of the rest of your opening and mid-card matches, because honestly, when a match is good but the ending falls flat, it just brings the whole thing down. You look at it as
It really does.
Well, that should have been better.
It can kill so many matches. It can make a match that should be a classic become complete, like you don't want to remember it,
Exactly.
When we come back,
makes sense from beginning to end.
Exactly. When we come back from beginning to end, speaking of, we are going to cap it off tonight. So excited once again, Stumbling. Good to be back with you, Matt. But let's take it to our buddies at Red Leaf Retrocast.
Hey Colin, did you get the cardboard cutout of Console Kev?
Did I ever? It's amazing.
Oh, I think so too. I hate that guy. Kevin, what are you doing here?
Just eavesdropping on all the, the bad things you say about me. My usual Wednesday.
Oh, well, did you at least prepare for the Retro Gaming Podcast?
Absolutely not.
Oh, God, that figures. Alright, it's okay. I'll take it from here. Basically, we pick a theme every time, and we pick a number of games based on that theme. Just like our first episode where it lasted forever and we talked about space games.
Yeah, and other good, all the mainstream systems and games you love, like the 3DO, the Atari Jaguar.
Oh, come on. Colin, you back me up here. The 3DO is awesome, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were friends. I mean, it's cool. Alright.
If you want to hear 3 guys talk about games that are bad because JD picked them all, and good games that Kevin picked, join us.
Who here wants to see a bunch of nerds talking video games with a little bit of anime thrown in there? Nobody? Just me? Damn!
Well, speaking of anime, Colin, we have an anime cast as well.
Yes, we do. All retro anime. Many of which I have never heard of myself. And I'm a weeb!
Very similar premise there. We pick a retro anime, at least 15 years or older, and we review it every episode. We also keep up on all the modern stuff, all the seasonal things from the year. Hey, Kevin, you just got back into wrestling, right?
I did.
Oh my god, did you know we also have a wrestling cast that just started?
I do now because nobody tells me anything.
Ah, well, what do you think of the big dog these days?
He still sucks.
Well, that's good. Well, luckily, we just don't complain about WWE stuff. We also talk about a lot of the latest and greatest from the rising indie scene, New Japan, and Ring of Honor.
I like rings and honor.
Well, you should definitely listen to the Red Leaf Retrocast. We have such a wide range of topics, ideas to discuss, and just anything to review. It's fantastic. Don't you guys think so?
It's alright.
Absolutely. And thanks again for the Sailor Moon.
We are back. It's last call. Final break is over with, Matt. Time to get down to the brass tacks. Once again, NXT UK Episode 9 review. Let's do it. Another doubleheader this week's episode. What did Episode 9 kick off with?
We kicked off with another quarterfinal match in the NXT UK Women's tournament. Xia Brookside versus Rhea Ripley. There was never a contest here, Travis, let's be honest.
No.
We always knew who was going to win this. I will say, like the look of Xia Brookside. She, in case you didn't get it on NXT UK, she's the daughter of Robbie Brookside, trainer at the Performance Centre. I think she could go far, but again, it's like we said in the last review of the last episode, Travis, that there's two clear thoroughbreds at the head of this division, and they're not going to let up the race anytime soon.
But there's tons of potential here. And even in the Mae Young Classic, I felt like when we first saw her, she looked good. And it was crazy. Robbie Brookside was in the crowd for that. And that was the first time he ever saw his daughter compete live, which, thinking about it, because he's a trainer, that's really weird. Like, why? Why?
Yeah. You work for the company. Like, could you not attend one of the shows, maybe?
Either way, this was a perfect way, I feel like. At the expense of Xia Brookside, poor Xia right now. She'll be fine. Like I said, tons of potential. She looked great. It was a good way to show. And I love Rhea's entrance music. It's badass.
Do you? I think I didn't like it. I thought it was just a ragtag of noises. But then maybe that's just me.
Well, her character, I guess. Let me clear one thing up. Okay, I'm a huge Rhea Ripley fan. Okay? Did I say Xia Brookside or Rhea Ripley? Because I meant Rhea Ripley's music I really liked.
Yeah, you said Rhea Ripley.
Okay. I'm a fan, but for me, I don't know why I keep seeing it when she's out there. Maybe it's her new haircut that she uses. She looks like Pete Dunne. I can't get past that she looks like Pete Dunne now, and it's really weird. Either way, though, I'm a big fan of Rhea Ripley. I like the badass metal check heel character or whatever. She's great on Twitter, like we talked about her and Tegan Knox. And I like the shots she was saying in this match verbally. Good psychology, calling her daddy's girl. I don't know if you called that, Matt. That was good stuff. But just beat her ass. And obviously your winner, Rhea Ripley.
Yep, she's got the psychology down to a T, both in and out of the ring. And she's going to go far. And can I just say, Travis, before we started recording tonight's episode, I did see on Twitter somebody saying that Tony Storm should have won the title. It's like, just think of the psychology even aspect of it. It's like, if every babyface wins the fucking title, what's left? I'm not as interested in seeing a heel chase the title as I am a babyface. I said the same thing about Mustache Mountain in the last part. Rhea Ripley should have that title, in my opinion, for a good 6 to 8 months before Tony Storm finally takes it off of her. And I have no doubt that Tony Storm will be the one to take it off of her, but, don't take the title off of Rhea Ripley yet. She's got so much more potential and so much more to give as champion and in this character.
I agree. Rhea Ripley, you can't always get what you want, guys. There's got to be incentive. The thrill of the chase. The money's in the chase. That old, the best matches and best angles are always laid out when the babyface gets theirs in the end, not them. You know what I'm saying, but I agree.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
It's a great choice. I feel like everybody knows the spoiler. It's not a spoiler that Rhea Ripley wins this tournament. We're just reviewing the episode. Everybody's known that because these shows are so old when they were taped. It was a good call. I think we can both come to terms on that. And I think everybody, looking back, if it's booked right, they'll know it was a good call. Putting on Ripley first.
Yeah. I don't think anyone can disagree with us, Travis, though. Someone probably will. Maybe Logan. I know he's a big Tony Storm fan. So, someone will disagree with us, Travis. Someone will say Rhea Ripley doesn't deserve the title. And to that, I will say, I'm going to ignore you now. Please stop talking to me.
A lot of people don't know either. A lot of the talent, they don't like to be booked overly strong. They know what that can do to a character, to a babyface.
Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah.
Tony Storm requests it.
Agreed.
You don't know.
I do know that she, plans might have changed. And we'll obviously get into this, week after next when we do the review of the final of the tournament. But Tony Storm was injured in that match. That was the match she suffered the injury in, where she was out for 2 months, the spinal injury. So, maybe the plan all along was to have Tony win it, but they had to change the plan because of the injury. But win-win for me, either way.
Yeah. Both good choices, good candidates. Where are we at now on this episode, Matt?
We are at a backstage interview. Zach Gibson, James Drake. They don't really say anything, Travis, so we won't spend too long talking about this. But like I said in the other episode, it's nice to have an actual other team, in the division. Next, we were taken to backstage footage of the Coffees and Wolfgang attacking Trent Seven and Tyler Bate. This was meant to be from, I think, was it the week before? Episode 8 or episode 7? One of them. Anyway, we were shown that. Sort of nicely builds up the Gallus British Strong Style feud to come. We would get glimpses of that, I think, throughout this episode, unless I've written it wrong. No, I did write it wrong. Not throughout this episode. We'll get that next week, which we will cover in depth. Next match, we had Jack Stars versus Eddie Dennis, and I know you've got a few things to say about Eddie Dennis's ring attire.
When I was watching this match, first of all, Jack Star, ridiculous. When I was watching this match, I was watching, my kids happened to be in there, and this is the first time they'd ever laid eyes on Eddie Dennis. Now I know the look and all that and stuff. It worked in prog. Something about it, the look he's wearing, his attire, is not translating well to WWE cameras. And my kids flat out called him a dork. And I know he's trying to go for this brooding, intense, crazy heel, but something needs to be tweaked. Plain black leather pants with a studded belt will be fine. It's about the character if you're trying to portray that he's unbalanced and crazy or whatever the fuck they're trying to do with him. Yeah. Just tweak that. Other than that, no complaints about anything I've seen from Eddie. Okay, take that back. The first match I saw him in his debut, he did look a little blown up. You can tell it was probably, he looked teary-eyed by the end of that first match. And you could tell he'd been working to get this far in his career for so long. It meant a lot to him. Maybe he blew himself up now, but I haven't seen any of that on any other episode from him yet.
Nope. Was this his second match or his third? I'm tempted to say third, maybe. But yeah, he's starting to look back to his old self, if anyone's ever seen him in Progress and on the Indies. The only thing I didn't like about this, and again, like the Dave Mastiff match in the last part of the review, it was almost a squash match. Jack Stars had his moments, and he will be a regular on NXT UK. I'm sure that will thrill you, Travis, by the reaction you gave him at the beginning of this little segment. But the only thing I didn't like about Eddie Dennis was that fucking little mincing run he did on the buckle bomb. It's like he was starting to run a marathon, but then just thought, oh no, forget it, and just trotted along. It was odd. It just felt really odd to me. It's like this. What is he? 6'4", maybe. He's a tall fucker, this bloke.
He looks 7 feet tall compared to the rest of the roster. Let's be honest.
Yeah, he does. Impressive as well. I like the way he looked. His height, sorry. But when you're mincing across the ring like Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean at that height, it's just find a better way to do it. You freak me out. Sorry. Eddie Dennis wins the match with, I'm going to call it a driver because I didn't catch the name of it. I don't even think they gave it out. But yeah, entertaining squash match. And I said this to you, Travis, before we came on air. I hope they play on the the story that they've given him so far, and they weave throughout his vignettes of him being jealous of his so-called friends, Mark Andrews, Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, Trent Seven, etc. I hope he sort of gets to pick them off one by one until he gets to Pete Dunne, assuming Pete Dunne's still champion by then.
I'd also like to see more glimpses, not full Dean Douglas, but little more tweaks to the character too. We hear that he's a teacher and all that's legit, but if you didn't know that about him, you'd never guess that by just seeing him, just him as a total package, watching him, because they only talk about it in the little vignettes that he was a teacher, or sometimes they'll mention on commentary, but there's I don't know, incorporate it into your promos a little bit more something, a little more character maybe.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we've moved on drastically since the day of Dean Douglas, so I think they could get that in a believable and maybe a witty way, like this funny or an intentionally funny headmaster who will literally beat the shit out of you.
Is it time to take a trip to the Gold Coast? Is it Tony Storm time?
It is not. It is Mark Andrews versus Mike Hitchman next. And I want to get your opinion on Mike Hitchman, because I had my say on him several episodes ago. So I think it's your turn to give us your opinion of him, his orc-like look and his.
Hey, you nailed it in that description of that episode. Perfect. He looks like an orc. You're right. I didn't really see that until you said it, but thank you for saying that. And a lot of people think my first time ever seeing Mike Hitchman was on. I've seen him before this, and I think he's great. I can't get enough Wild Boar. I feel like here, though, not that great. This wasn't much of anything, really, except Mark Andrews getting his shit in, to me. To be honest, they're not for. Why is he wearing his mask on the entrance too? By the way, Matt, that's one of the best parts about him. Mike Hitchman, that is.
I know he came out without it. I was shocked about that. Yeah, it's like that's part of the gimmick. It's like part of Vader's WCW gimmick was the smoking mastodon helmet. I feel like he should always have that mask on. Maybe he just forgot to bring it to Birmingham. Maybe it was just one of them things he left it at home. But I thought he ruined him. He's one of them men for me who look better with the mask on.
Yeah, totally. Like Juventud Carrera, another one. But what they totally did here didn't make. I mean, I don't know what they're doing with Mike Hitchman. He was booked like a flat out jobber in this. I'm sorry, but I am a fan.
Yeah. Oh, me too. He's also got a good little tag team going in progress with Flash Morgan Webster, I believe. So, he is a star in the UK, Mike Hitchman. It's just that, Triple H has obviously looked at him and gone, enhancement talent, which is a shame because he's got so much more, going for him than that. His matches against Ligero in the past few weeks, sorry, really good. I really enjoyed that match with Ligero.
Me too. But yeah, I would like to say bigger things to come, but I don't know what they're gonna do with him, personally.
No, bigger things aren't coming for Mike Hitchman, I'm afraid. I don't. Oh, pardon me. I don't recall seeing him on the Plymouth or Liverpool tapings. So, who knows when or even if we're going to see him again. I hope we do, because I feel like he's got so much more potential. But it's not going to get, it's not going to get mined in NXT UK. Sadly.
I don't even want to risk messing up another segue on this episode this week. So Matt, I'll let you do it again. Where did that take us to next?
That took us to a fleeting Eddie Dennis interview in which he was interrupted by Ashton Smith. Ashton Smith, who I quite like. I know, and no one got to hear this, but Logan disagreed with me last week. What's your opinion on Ashton Smith, Travis? Because I said, rightly or wrongly, depending on what people think, you're all entitled to your own opinion. I said, for me, he reminds me of a 1996 debut in Rocky Maivia in the way that he moves and throws his punches, and just the potential that I see in him that was, prevalent in The Rock when he first stepped onto that Survivor Series stage.
I see it too. I see more and more every time I see Ashton Smith. I come around on him more and more. The Rocky Maivia comparison, I can see that. I can see that. I don't think his look does him any favors, and I mean that in the way that his appearance, how his tattoo, he almost looks like Ricochet. We've said that before. They look like carbon copies, just a bigger Ricochet. I don't think, but it's another case. We keep saying it all the time. There's so much talent. He's going to have a hell of a time breaking through, but I feel like he's got the tools. It's going to take a while to get on that level, but I feel like he's solid. There's guys that are worse than him for sure on the roster.
Oh, indeed, and the program with the Coffees and Wolfgang has done him nothing but good in my eyes. I think he's one to watch with a little bit more investment for me.
What's going on, guys? Of course, can't do any episode without having any technical difficulties if I'm involved, apparently. The last, 20 minutes or so of this episode cut off, but I'm here to give you the scoops, the hot takes real quick. Jordan Devlin versus El Ligero was great. It was a great match, playing off of the promo the week or two before with Devlin and Ligero. I don't think it's possible for these two guys to go out there and have a bad match together. They have chemistry. There was actually good storytelling. It just wasn't a bunch of flippity-doo-dah high spot nonsense. It was good. And yeah, the crowd was really into it. I just wish there was more of a direction for both of these guys right now, because they're straight up, they're just attractions. Devlin should be in the title picture. Though, spoiler alert, there's going to be him and Dunn in future weeks, but I feel like that's rushed way too soon. But I feel like in the future, Devlin is definitely talented enough, has the credentials, has the resume with Finn Balor, a built-in storyline for there if you ever want to call him up. Hell, Finn Balor, why not have Finn Balor do some shots in NXT UK? Get an established name, not like they're doing anything with them on Raw anyway. Bring Balor in, maybe have him come out with his old protege, maybe coming into the ring and build that up every couple weeks. Boom, student turns on the teacher. It's as simple as that. And that's it. That's NXT UK this week. Another good episode. I would recommend this one. When we recorded it, Matt, I think he graded this an A- or B+, something like that. I'm going to grade it a B+. Another good episode. Moving the women's tournament right along. Excuse me, I am sick for the sniffles. There's going to be more matches in the tournament, the women's tournament next week, and then we'll get to the final. So next week, women's tournament heavy. Until then, follow Matt on Twitter at ThePerfect10 and follow me on Twitter at TheHibikkiTMD. Hit that subscribe right down below. Everything good, retro gaming, pro wrestling. Hit us up. Our merch store, UnionSmack.BigCartel.com, the official Hibiki TMD shirt, and the official Slam Pigs Union Smack podcast shirt. It's good to be back. Sorry again for the hiccup, but at least we patched up the holes. Slam Pigs Union Smack. Until next time, cheerio, mates.